Hi, my name is Paul Dufresne, Training for Courage. Today's installment is going to be on security box. The reason why I've gone to this topic is because this mare here is 16 years old and she's had some riding, but mostly been hanging around in the pasture, apparently trying to get foundered, and hopefully we'll get her back into a fairly safe position here where the feet are not a problem. She's improved quite a bit in the last couple of months. So what we're going to do with this horse here, because she tends to be, this Andalusian mare tends to be very reactive to all kinds of sharp sounds. So before I can continue with her training, when I saw her reaction to sound, I thought, well, I'll save her and I'll do the security box with her, because this is a really important topic for people to understand. It's a simple principle, but to apply it can get really tricky. The whole idea is, I call it a box, and it's not, is basically the space around her and me has to be safe for her. So for her to understand that anytime there's stimuli or something sharp or something explosive, and if I haven't asked a question of her, she shouldn't overly respond to that. Now this is a learned process, okay? Because all horses are born to react quite quickly to strong noises. So even with basic endo tapping, which right now she's just been hanging around, but I would like to have her just relax a little bit. Oh, over. Thank you. Good. So before I look at establishing any kind of a security box, what I'm looking at is can I have this horse relax in the first place? So I'm going to do just a few shoulder ins on a circle just to test her, see how she behaves. Just a little tight there. Oh, and how fast does she come down? She's a little pushy with the head there. And try that again. So every time she pushes, I will kind of end up pushing her back so she understands I don't want her pushing her head in my space. And I'll back her off again. We'll try on this side. Ooh. For the opportunity to come down. Not bad. She's reasonably relaxed right now, but when we start playing around the security box, we'll find out probably quite a bit different. She's been doing some other liberty skills and things like that this week, so that probably will help her settle a little bit, and also some ground diving. But what we're going to do now is we'll get the start of the security box. So at the start of the security box, I could choose a whip, a lunge whip, or I could choose a flag. It doesn't matter. Now, it does matter in that whatever I want to start with, but if I find that something overstimulates her, I may choose something else that maybe is not quite as strong. She behaves like a lot of dressage horses. When she hears the crack of a whip, she starts thinking that, oh my God, I'm in trouble. And right away she wants to run. And that's quite normal for a lot of horses who haven't learned to discern between, am I being asked to run, or should I just be hanging around? You start doing this around me, and you'll notice when I start cracking the whip, most of my horses will just stand around, other than possibly this Frisian mare here tied to the trailer, who's just starting to learn this as well. So what I'll do is the first part, to give my horse a chance to understand, I'm going to start snapping the whip away from my horse. So I can feel her startled response on my line. I don't have to look at it. I just act like it's nice, relaxed, like there's nothing to it. All right? So she can read my body language. But the other part that a lot of people don't understand, by moving forward, you see, that's more of an aggressive move by us. She and I are moving into the whip. So that's a lot different than the whip chasing her. So the psychology is different. So it allows her to be braver. So if I had a horse or a person that really was not accustomed to doing this, I would have them do this part first. And if they can't handle the whip, then what I would say is that maybe you should go to a shorter whip that has less action in it, so it gives you a chance to actually control it better. All right? So already, you notice she's starting to relax and she's starting to realize that doesn't concern her. The first time she heard it crack a whip, trust me, she was trying to run away. So, all right. So that's not bad for this phase, okay? So I don't do it till she stops. Anytime that she's being pretty good, I just go walk it off. Okay, so the whole idea is not to stimulate the mare till she's terribly irritated and feels like now she really has to run. So that's the first part. And with some horses, you may want to do this part a lot longer. Now, here's where it gets a little bit trickier. There's two things we can do with the horse. We can just snap the whip, not at them, but in their general vicinity, and hope that they don't get irritated by it and feel that they have to run. So I'll just snap the whip, I give her a break, I slow her feet down, She has to feel that my connection is relaxed. She doesn't have to panic. And I don't know whether you can tell right now, but her eyes are bulging out and she's coming to suck up. Okay? I don't want her right on top of me. I'd like her a little further back, because if she was to panic, I don't want her running into me. So her response was to want to run a bit more. All right? So if I want to simplify this so that she can be even more successful, what I'll do is I will move over to the fence. Now when I'm at the fence, with my back to the fence, I've basically stopped the running around by 50%. All right? I do that. I let her settle, relax. And her reaction there when she just got touched by the whip was like, oh my God, it's going to spank me. But she thought about it. Okay? So now I'm going to move her the other way and stop her before she stops and hits the fence. Relax my arm so that she can see the connection. I back her away a little bit. I don't want her too tight. All right? And I'm ready to just relax this arm, snap the whip over on this side. I give her a second to relax. Judging from the last response, when I touched her with the whip, she was actually ready to run a little bit too much, okay? So I don't need to touch her with the whip just yet. So now I'll ask her to go the other way. Oh, and stop her. And we'll try this again. That wasn't bad. I go over, I touch her. I don't touch her face, I go towards her shoulder and I watch. The whole idea is if right after the snap, when it snaps here, and I think it was 1001, and I touch her, her guard comes down for that little bit of a fraction of a time. So now I want to move her the other way. I ask her the question, stop her, back her up. Oh, relax my connection to her. And relax. Now there, right now, she's just a little too far to touch for me to touch. So I'll actually bring my whip a little closer. So she's running. I just touched her, steadied her, and relaxed her. Again, she's checking out the whip, going, are you meaning any harm or what? She's not sure. Good. So now I could continue this way till she understands that if I ask her a question and I turn her on the circle, she should go till I say so. If I snap the whip and the connection is relaxed, she shouldn't feel like she's going to die. All right? Now that's her just running. She was anticipating the question to be sent off without having it sent off. So now the third way we can implement this security box is I'll just twirl this around. I slow her down so she stands. The second she's quiet, I stop. Okay? And then I would touch her nice and gently. Okay, I try that again after I send her out. Stop her. Relax. And if she was really, really worried, I might endo-tab her. So again, I start to twirl it around. I don't go till I irritate her. Anytime she tries to not move her feet, that's bonus. Okay? Again, she's bringing her head down. She's sucking up. She says, God, I hope I'm guessing right because I am worried. Okay? And again, I can do it twice. I don't do it till she messes it up. Touch her. Now I'm going to send her out. Oh. Oh. And let my connection relax. Again, there she got a little worried. I just steady her with my hand, telling her, no, no, don't move your feet. Good. Atta girl. Good. And I'm going to send her out. Oh. Back. Ooh. Good. So she's overthinking that a little bit. So now I'm mixing 2 and 3 together. Now, if you notice her trot, it started to get a little bit more engaged, a little bit rounder and softer. Oh. And again. I let her relax a bit, and she forgets the connection. And that's quite normal for horses, that people don't mean what they say. So what happens is the horse goes, what am I supposed to do? And their normal reaction is to just run. Good. Back. So she's over anticipating there, so I'm going to go the other way. Oh. 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 Good. Oh. Oh. Good. Thank you. Watch me. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to what I usually use a flag whip at a lot of the clinics for a lot of people because it's easier to handle. So as I'm walking here, I could maybe just check to see what she does, what her response is to that. Right? Oh, oh. And the last place I'm going to swing it is underneath her feet. That's how you can get a horse to rear. Good. And send her out. Oh, oh. And some people ask, well, how long do you do that? Till the horse understands. So might be pretty good today, but I will check every day just to make sure that that horse understands that if there's some, if all of a sudden there's just a spank out here, and then it's just, does she lose it? And if she doesn't have this good on the ground, you're playing with fire when you ride that horse, right? Because some horses, if it happens when they're riding, they could go to the rodeo just trying to save themselves. Oh. And I've had people who come up with horses sometimes. They tell me, like, gosh, can you help me with this horse? This horse is really excited and it's all anxious and whatever. And I've had a couple of horses where I've done this security box here for 15, 20 minutes. And in 15, 20 minutes, I had a totally different horse. Once the horse realized that all the commotion it didn't have to worry about, it realized that I was going to take care of it. And then I was going to make it clear. Again, I didn't ask a question. Now I ask a question. Oh. Oh. So now I'm going to go to 3 again. She stands quietly. I touch her. She stands quietly. I touch her. Good. And send her out. Oh. And now if you look at this here, there's a reason this whip here has 2 ends. I've had some horses that are so sensitive to the flag that what I might do is endo tap them with that, because she understands that, but at the same time she hears the flag jumping around. That's why I have a ball at the end of that, so I can mix it up. Ask her to back and send her out. Oh, now she was much more relaxed going out on that one, so the endo tapping seems to have helped her. So it helps her come down. She's hearing the flag. It's good. And I made sure my connections relax. And I send her out. Again, not bad. She's a little excited, leaning a little bit. Oh. Good. So right now I'm predominantly spending time around the front end of the horse. Later on, I'd be able to walk around, or I'd even do it at liberty, all around the horse. That was a nice takeoff. She seems to be a little bit more confident on the side that she's had more training on. Oh, she's her left side. Later on, I check the outsides of the horse first. Then I'll go underneath as well. But if that horse was to kick at the whip, that tells me we have some things we need to work out. That horse should not be kicking at the whip. Oh. Good. So when I'm looking at this horse, I should be looking like I'm looking at my friend. I'm relaxed, just goofing around. I don't mean any harm. That's why a lot of people are better off to be spanking the ground over there first, because anytime they look at their horse, they tend to go, "Are you scared yet?" And they scare the heck out of the horse instead of, "Here, just relax," and then take a look, nice and slowly. And I expect my horse to be successful. It will be. Oh. So the security box is something that first I do stationary. Later on, I'll do it moving. If the horse lacks confidence moving, lacks confidence standing still, I'm not going to ask the horse to move. Oh. Good. For a lot of people, I'd recommend maybe do 1, 2 maximum big swipes if even if your horse is doing pretty good. Because you better read them well, because once they move their feet, now you've got nothing left to reward. Oh, good. So I can mix it up. I could go attack stuff. I could hit a tarp. I could bang the walls of an arena. I could bang whatever it is. Now you notice she was a little bit worried about that. And again, it's the same thing, that if I want her to understand, she doesn't have to worry about it. I have her watch me. She watches me play with it and watches that I'm not worried about it, and she follows behind her. Right away, she starts to get a little bit braver. All right. Oh, and she's doing not bad. Not bad. So we got one more tool that I love to use. I love to use it because of the touch of the Australian whip, and it really is a strong snap. It has a lot of energy. Good. Now, if I'd have started with that one first, it might have made it a little bit more difficult. She would have figured it out, but the whole idea is you're better off to start with little bites that the horse can be successful at. Because otherwise what happens is you're setting up the horse. I love this whip here because it has touch. So when I touch her all over like that, it actually feels good. Now, if you have to spank a horse, it's going to spank pretty good too. Oh. Good. Oh. Oh. Good. Oh. Good. Good. Oh. 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 Good. So you notice she's already smart enough that she figures that there's that quiet time, and then she's going to get sent out. So she's over anticipating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start changing things up. So I'll have longer waits in between, and then all of a sudden I'll maybe snap it again. Because if I'm standing relaxed, she shouldn't feel that she has to worry about it. Or I'll switch hands. Then I'll ask to turn the other way. Move her out. She's counterflexed there. Good. It's one thing I noticed this mare on her circle, she's counterflexed, so the shoulder in on the circle will really help her with that. Oh. So from what I've seen, this mare is fairly nice. She's got definitely has some holes in her training. So what I'm going to do is I don't assume anything. So what I do is I start from scratch, and we'll fill in all the holes and work our way up. And then when we're riding, we're riding. But just because somebody says they're riding doesn't mean that we'll start to ride this mare, because I don't need to get buggered up. She doesn't need to get scared. So what I'm looking at is, what does she know? Let's fill in if we need to fill in things that she should understand. Because I don't want her to wear herself out. I want her to think that things are going to be okay. All right, so I'm going to be doing this every day. Every time I halter this mare, I'm going to do shoulder ins. And I'm going to do some endo tapping, get her relaxed, and then I'm going to be doing the security box. And before I mount a horse, so a lot of times, people get onto the horse and they're not even sure where the horse's mind is. Well, what I'm looking at is if that horse, if I touch him here with this hand here like this, I should be able to crack this whip, and that horse shouldn't be worried. If it is, we got a problem. If I take the stirrup and I go whack, that horse shouldn't think it's going to die. It shouldn't feel like it's got to run. So if you get on that kind of a horse that is that strong on the stimuli, you're looking at getting yourself in trouble. And if you're gonna have a real serious ride, you should get paid big bucks. Go to the rodeo and get paid for it. Otherwise, I figure, the less I get bounced around and the happier that horse is, better for all of us. Okay, so the whole idea is to avoid that. All right, so later on we'll show you guys what the advanced horses are like when they don't panic at all, and you can do that because this is if somebody wanted to throw a lariat or whatever, this is what we're doing. We're teaching the horse that this connection is what you have to worry about. So when I ask you a question with this one here could be doing something else, or it could be supporting this. Now, if you ignore the question here, that whip will support that. But on the other hand, if that horse is paying attention to this and I'm doing this, it's being good. Sorry there, girl. Try that again. That was my fault. Atta girl. Now, I'm sorry on that one. And hopefully, as you can see, I think she forgave me. She was already thinking, well, okay, I'm following him. That's good. We're all right here. And when I tweaked her, she actually didn't respond because she wasn't expecting that she had to. So that happens. Sometimes if somebody's doing something with an obstacle in their hand, or the garrocha, and you drop it on them, say you're sorry. You don't bang the horse on purpose with it, but on the other hand, try to practice so that you don't do that unnecessarily. But if you want to build in a forgiveness factor so that the horse goes, okay, this happens sometimes and I'm okay, doesn't mean any harm to me, okay? And that's really important. Good girl. I also like the Australian whip. I can actually, because of the ball on the end, I can actually use it for endo tapping, and it actually works pretty good. And if in doubt, well, I've always got a couple of these. Good girl. Well, that's it on the security box. We'll show it later when we're riding. Have a good day.